Hello everybody, it's me, Farham, and we're here with an updated build guide for the McFlurry Ice Strike Invoker. Effectively, the TLDR of this is, I wanted to work on a lot of magnitude of shock. I figured we could probably knock about a second, maybe a second and a half off the boss timer. Was about right on that. So, we've changed the tree up. Just to confirm, there has been no additional divine investment in gear. This has just been with tweaking the tree and tweaking when we're using skills. We've actually combined the tree into one all-purpose tree now, so you don't even swap jewels. Everything is the same there. We swap a couple of skills if we're basically running breaches or we're running Simulacrum. So there will be a showcase both of a tier 4 breach and of a tier 4 Simulacrum in full. And we will start off going through the passive tree. I will lightning fast go over the skills. They were done in some detail in the last video, so if you are interested in seeing a more detailed breakdown of the skills, do check out that previous video on this build, as it goes into a lot more detail. Then we're going to focus a little bit more on the changes to the passives. Alright guys, we're actually going to show this in the context of path of building rather than the character, because I can then talk about how to make this path of building work. I can talk a little bit about the config, and I can talk a little bit about the tree at the same time. There's an issue down there, but it should look like that. So updates to the tree, we'll go over them. Previously, we were running crit and defensive nodes over here. We have removed those, and we have simplified down some of the starting tree. So we are no longer taking Essence of the Storm. Now, we've also taken off this jewel here to go down to this jewel here. Now, why have we made these changes? Well, these three nodes here, down to Killer Instinct, are very, very powerful. We want to take those. They're really, really good guest nodes. But most importantly, what we wanted to do was get up to General Electric and Harmonic Generator. Now, General Electric, okay, the 5% increased attack speed and cast speed of lightning skills is a bit of a waste. But on the way there, we get 70% increased shock chance, which is way up from the 45% here. Now, we will see that this means that we proliferate our shock really, really, really well in Simulacrums. Also, because Ice Strike is our primary shock generator, in fact, it's our only possible shock generator in single target, Harmonic Generator is going to guarantee that, well, we're going to end up with Harmonic Generator, as long as we crit, and we crit 70% of the time, with 145% increased magnitude of shock, which for some reason works out as 52.5% and not 47.5%, but there we go. Either way, we end up with 52% increased magnitude of shock. Now that's 52% increased damage, calculated after everything we've got on the sheet here. Well, sort of. Path of building isn't calculating very well. But these are the main changes. We're basically focused in part of the tree here. So to talk around the tree in full, we'll go over this reasonably quickly. It's still got in-depth guides on most of it. Apart from the new bit, which we just covered there. We come up to Flow Like Water. We grab Mindful Awareness, Flow State, and Crushing Wave. We grab Moment of Truth for the extra crit. And then we go up and grab Echoing Flames, Echoing Thunder, and Echoing Frost. We will be afflicting enemies with all three status effects all of the time. We will guaranteed be hitting them with those. We are getting that 90% damage uptime almost immediately in every fight. It's for the first or second hit. Right, we continue going around and we come up and grab Resonance. Why do we grab Resonance? Well, we've got abilities that generate frenzy charges. We want them to be power charges. We take the crit nodes to the left of Resonance, True Strike, or the Jugular. Then you go up here because damage on critical is really good. Deadly Force. We take round to Deep Trance. Now, why are we taking that? That's because we're using an Against the Darkness Time Lost Diamond. The important stat here is the extra fire damage. You get extra fire damage and extra cold damage, that's great, but the extra fire damage is important. That means you can ignore getting fire damage from anywhere else, and this will give you enough fire damage to consistently ignite enemies. As we continue to go around the tree, we grab Eternal Youth. This is so we can use our health flask to actually heal our energy shield. We grab Spectral Ward for the extra maximum energy. We're running CI, so we go up for CI. We also grab Heavy Frost and Thin Ice. On the way there, we need the freeze build up. It's particularly important for Simulacrums. You want to be freezing everything so they can't hit you. Careful, and bosses as well, right? Bosses last 4 seconds. You just want to freeze them and they can't do anything. Careful Assassin for the extra crit damage bonus. We'll keep going up and grab Ingenuity. We need the Intelligence for skill gems, but it's also really good for, it gives us about 20k extra DPS, 35k extra DPS as well. That's because of Hands of Wisdom in action. We grab Patient Barrier, and then we grab a Jewel Socket. We've got 2 Jewel Sockets. They're both being socketed with Sapphires that give maximum energy shield as additional stun threshold, as well as some nice damage bonuses. This is pretty much just so that we can survive in Simulacrum nicely. Coming down the other side of the tree, I wanted to grab Overflowing Power. This was very much a quality of life thing. The 3 nodes on the way there that give critical damage bonus are good damage nodes. We do consume power charges quite a lot, although you can get power charge starved in some particular sim runs, which means you then miss out on that bonus. However, the Overflowing Power means we can run around with a 50-second charge staff. This means that we can use charge staff before the start of a sim wave, at the end of a sim wave, and then have it for the whole next one should that wave prove to be one that's troubling to generate any charges in. We come down, we grab Throat Seeker. In this dual socket, we want a large controlled metamorphosis, and with that, we are grabbing one with the river. Serrated edges, that's really good against bosses. They're the things that suck the most. Manifold method, this helps us freeze and shock bosses faster, as well as the mana leech is actually quite nice for sustaining Ice Strike. And we can fit in enhanced reflexes too. The extra dexterity means we can focus a bit more on int on our attribute nodes, int being the best for damage. We can also fit in Coming Calamity, which is a very good node because we're always running around with 2 heralds, particularly at the times when we're running around with Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. It's a nice damage bonus. And lastly, we spend some points going around to Heartbreaking, Struck Through, and Heart Stopping. So some changes to the tree here. Again, main focus being getting that magnitude of shock up to try and increase that boss target damage, but it has the subsequent effect of also putting this giant magnitude of shock on rares in Simulacrum, so we can bust those even easier. Well, the things that are a problem for us in Simulacrum are when we get temporal shield rares. Sometimes we have to react to those, press a few buttons. Don't have to press buttons if you kill them in 2 hits. So that's the idea behind the changes to the tree. Sacrifice quite a lot of tank, but it's to guarantee without more investment that we are absolutely nuking through tier 4 sims. So on this tree, we now have just one skill tree. That's the all-purpose tree. In the skills section, we have 2 sets of skills. We've got the bosses and the map set, and then we've got the sim set. The main swap is Herald of Ash with Herald of Ice, but there are also some changes to Ice Strike and Tempest Spell to make sure you check those out. In the boss set, we're running Primal Armament and Concentrated Effect in the Bell, with Ice Strike having Heft because it's just left over, and Overcharge. Whereas when we're running Sims, we don't run Overcharge anymore. In Ice Strike, we run Concentrated Effect to make sure this can one-shot things easier. And in Tempest Bell, we run Magnified Effect. If we do want to put the Bell down for some faster killing and a chance at a few more rewards, that will get our bell size a bit bigger. Very important to have a big bell. Ask anyone. All right. They are the 2 sets there. On the item sets as well, there's a Sim set and a boss set. The changes are the amulet, and the change really is for your boss set, you can just take a DPS. You take a DPS anointment, it's fine. For your sim set, I've found that Icebreaker is quite important. You don't want to get frozen. If you get frozen, it can be end of. So I take a neck with Icebreaker. And also to +3 of level of all minion skills. This increases the healing you get from Grim Feast by about 80%. Taking it from level 21 to 24 goes from 299 healing per little Grim Feast sperm thing to 480. 484, I think. Significant. It's a really, really big increase. If you can grab +3 level of all minion skills, it's quite nice. So that's the build. That's how the tree works. If you want to look through any of the gear, all the gear my character is currently using is copied line for line into here for both sets, so you can have a look. One important thing to mention as well, Megalomaniac. You want to pick up one of these, it gives you stun resistance, either Hallowed, Asceticism, or... In fact, I don't think Asceticism works, so I'm not going to advise that. Grab either Hallowed if you can, or Self-Mortification, and test Asceticism at your own risk, and then any damage or defense node that you think is appropriate. Right. That's the path of building. The path of building will be in the link below. Let's showcase this through a couple of places. If you've got any questions on it, feel free to ask in the comments. Feel free to join the Discord and ask there. Bossing showcase. We're going to jump into a T4 breach where I can show both. Of course, if you were running this on the Arbiter, then you're not going to get the charge stuff. It really doesn't matter. We do a lot of damage. We have a lot of shock magnitude, and we dish out. We just completely destroy things, and we proliferate all of the shock and all of the freeze that we need. As you can see. Not a problem. Everything just blows up. But purely from the Herald of Ice and the Herald of Lightning explosions, it one-shots everything. We've gone really big into the bell for single target damage. Which Primal Armament there. couple of other things. This is where it's nice to have the 5 charge staff. This is why I've picked it, really. I mean, you could arguably take some better nodes, but I think the quality of life it offers when doing Breach Farm and Simulacrum is parallel. Especially Simulacrum. Being able to go from wave to wave and maintain charges is really important, because you often get things that steal charges, get ailment immune, which makes your generation of charges a little bit harder, although arguably that is definite. In fact, that's fixed now. We've got so much shock and freeze generation that we just proliferate everything. It's fine. Everything is always shocked. Everything is always frozen. I'll grab the breach loot after we've killed the boss. Don't waste those precious seconds, you know. A one-handed build as well. You can definitely play this build with one hand if you're comfortable with mouse movement. It's got 3 buttons. So you can fit, if you've got a 5-button mouse, you can actually fit dodge roll and the 1 potion you need to press onto here as well. So you'll see some of the shocks are slightly lower when mapping. That's because Herald of Ice can buy shock. We'll come back and pick that stuff up. But let's get in on this boss. 40 seconds of 5 power charges, staff. Very good for breach. That's reason. That's the boss done. Which I think was probably around, I don't know, it felt that was very fast. That was very fast. So that's it for tier 4 bossing. Like, it's like it feels fine. It feels like it can get the job done. I'm going to showcase this thing as well through a full simulacrum, so we can see how it performs throughout. You can see pretty much every wave, we'll get pretty much every modifier. We can see how it deals with ailment immune, and we can have a look at all that good stuff. I haven't actually changed over my gear, so let's go through that first as well. There's some gear swaps that you'll do. So if you're running the mapping build, you'll want to do these swaps. Both of these are in the path of building. There's going to be a section going through the path of building as well. We'll go to our monk gear and we want this neck. It's here. This neck gives us Icebreaker. That's important to make sure we don't get frozen, as well as the +3 level of all minion skills, giving us a much greater heal on Grim Beast. Both of these things being very, 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 very important. We're going to pop in Herald of Ash instead of Herald of Ice, because Herald of Ice does not work. We've got a few more skill gems that we're going to swap around. Primal Armament goes back into Ice Strike. Concentrated Effect goes into Ice Strike instead of Overcharge. And we take Magnified Effect and pop that in the bell. This makes sure that we get a nice big radius on the bell when we want to use it, although we don't really need to use it that much at this stage. And Ice Strike is going to be doing plenty of upfront damage. So that's looking good. Conduction, Concentrated Effect, Rage. Right, good. If we don't kill things in one shot, we're putting a huge debuff on them. Huge shock debuff, which will do all the damage we need. Get into it. That's how it looks through a sim, which is the main thing I've built it for. Simming and fast bossing. So it can do Sekimas as well, but without put blink on it for that. I'll go over those skill gem changes after this. But yeah, we can just hold down left click at this point. Press mana potion when blue bar starts to look less full. And yeah, the loot comes to us. You can put the bell down if you want. It's if you desire. Make sure we keep charge staff up. Just progress through. More enemies, please. Thank you. Smash through another lot. You can see the cast on shock will be going off an awful lot more than it ever was. Well, it's stuck on 57% at the moment. As soon as a magic enemy spawns, it should... There you go. Yeah, goes off a bit. Need more enemies to spawn. Nice if they spawned the bosses earlier. So the enemies have 50% extra elemental resistance on this wave. Scary stuff. Bonus enemies to spawn from around here. Oh, a nice rare. Oh, we might actually get 4 rewards this time. That'll be incredible. Oh, we did. We made it, guys. Bitch. Temporal bubble, guys. These guys suck, but not anymore because we 2-tapped them. They used to suck because they used to take about 3 or 4 hits. Now they just get deleted. So moving on to the field zone. Now I get to fight in the field, out in the fields, as they say. We just hold down left click, press 2 when that mana bar gets low. You know, one-handed gameplay. If you like it that way, you know, if you want to drink a beer or whatever you want to do with your spare hand, I don't judge. Then, you know, we've got a big charge staff in game. Could do some charge staff in real life, I suppose. If that's what you're into. Not, as I said, judge. Here to show nice one-handed gameplay. Occasionally having to take the hand down to press 2. Or to press Q. But I've got that bound to a mouse button as well. I can just mouse it for that. Second verse, same as the first, when we're out in the fields. We just hold down that left click. Just turn everything into butter. Oh, there's a boss. You don't even need to use the bell for early bosses. I would advise using the bell in the last 3 waves. It's very helpful then. Things are a bit scary again in the last 3 waves, but up until that point, really, just easy gameplay, you know? Go to the next area. And we pray for a mana flask, guys. We're going to get that mana flask today, or a 3-slot diamond. We got absolute trash on the T4 Breach Showcase, so... See, we got chilled a bit in this particular fight. That's a little scary, but nothing we can't handle thanks to Icebreaker. I could have counted my number of inputs for this, because I'm sure that holding down left click just constitutes 1 input. Basically, we're going to do the whole of Simulacrum. We're going to use less than 200 inputs, right? Maybe. Maybe about 1,000. Less than 1,000 inputs. So we just zip around the area. Turn everything into mulch. Boss spawns. Turn him into mulch. No need for Bell, really. Bell is optional. And useful in those later waves, but these middling waves, spin that staff around. Staff time. Should be IDing the staffs that are on the floor, really. The staves that are on the floor. The quarter staves. Get it right. That one's got some help, but it's okay. He's gone now. Getting in from all angles there. Hungry for our staff. But we don't care. We just keep spinning the staff. Maybe re-put on our charge staff. 50 more seconds of charged up staff. Fella there. Hiding away. We just keep spinning that staff. 39 seconds of charged staff left, so it's doing anything really with that. Press it again soon if we want. Pressed it, we've got 50 seconds again. Boss spawns, but again, don't even really need to bell him. Make sure we keep spinning that staff. This, stand in the fire for a bit. Got to get those cheeky orbs of alchemy. We almost got stuck into a bit of a corner there, but as you saw, our elite staff skilling got us through the night. Are we getting any bosses here? Cheeky Regal Orb. I've got so many tablets, by the way. I can't be bothered to do anything with them this late in the season. See, the enemies now are taking a couple of hits to kill. They're not quite going down in one anymore. Now I would recommend using the bell for bosses, because they get a little bit stronger. So, waves 10 onwards, 11 onwards. See the bosses, just bell them. You don't want them to hit you. Attuned wand could be amazing. Tier 5 attuned wand. My lord. Then yeah, we just hold down our left click. Make sure our mana doesn't run out. Keep an eye on our charge staff. We've still got 40 seconds. We don't need to worry about it probably for this whole wave. But it's good to refresh it before the wave ends so that we got it up and running for the next wave. Bell down the bosses. Keep up the slaughter. No problem at all. Grab some free loot. Run the wrong direction. That's exactly what you do in a showcase. And then we're into the final zone. So this zone definitely needs to use the bell for the bosses. There will be both bosses all the time, and they will spawn pretty much either side of the doorway that we just walked through. So we're going to try and keep our positioning around there as best we can. Of course, it's kind of hard when we're just holding down Ice Strike and randomly flicking around the arena. Sort of go where the mobs are. There we go, we just bell them both up. Grab our staff again. Gotta have that long life staff. Got problems with staff life, you can talk to your doctor about that. Don't talk to me. Grab the attuned wand. You can talk to me and put them in the comments. Can't guarantee I can help you though. In fact, I definitely can't help you. But I'll appreciate the comment nonetheless. The algorithm likes it. So saith the great Queen algorithm. So we're going to keep clearing this shit. Hold down that left click, right. We don't need bells. We don't need bells for this. There's no rare that's going to be strong enough that we need the bell. Maybe these fellas. Omniphobia there, stuck in the air. We were kind of out of position for that, but as you saw, it wasn't really a problem. Let me get our next lot of loot. It's a lot of gold. We got an Orb of Chance though. A boner wand. Legendary one. So we restaff up, and we can actually restaff up again because we've got persistence in the staff now. I mean, sometimes our staff doesn't run out of staff. See, everything's just got flowing, and the damage is beautiful. Bosses should spawn reasonably soon. And even though we're not really generating power charges and things are happening to them, we've got enough staff just to... we don't really care. Although we haven't pressed charge staff this entire last wave, managed to keep it up. So that's the quality of life we get from those 2 extra power charges. Which just makes it really clean. And we got a closed helm. Of course we got a closed helm. We always get the closed helm. But that's it. That's how it goes through Sims now. It's just... like a warm knife through butter. Build's looking really good. Really enjoying it. It's not a fast mapper. Just said at the start, its strengths are Sims, tier 4 bossing. And it can do the 75% second miss as well. Doesn't have a problem there, but the problem again is speed through that arena. We'll just cover off briefly as a bit of a bonus what you can do to speed things up. So what we can do is we can take Frostwall and we can take Blink. we can replace what would currently be Herald of Ash and Charge Infusion with those 2 skills, and we can blink through doors, and we at least get a couple of blinks. And it does speed things up, so you can run that. It's not the fastest Sechamus, though. I wouldn't tout this as a Sechamus runner. It's just not got the speed. What it is tier 4 bossing, and Sims, particularly focus on Sims there. Guys, I really do hope you've enjoyed this build series. I think without investing gear now, this is about the pinnacle of what the tree can do. But of course, I'm always open to discuss suggestions in the chat, so do let me know. And if you want to join the Discord and chat about this more, in the video description. Hope to catch you in the next video, guys. I'll be streaming this character, by the way. We're going to try and do 50 sims and see what the results of 50 sims are. That's going to be over the next week. So if you're watching this in the first couple of days where it comes out, it would be great to see you on stream. Have a good one. Catch you later.